Do. He's got a lot of explaining to do with that haircut in the days to come. Right now, I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about it.
And his wife, Andre, who was at one time a semi-professional golfer, is disgusted that he got the haircut because they both have to go to the premiere of Paul Newman's new movie, Road to Perdition, and she does not want to walk in with a head looking like that.
What can you do to fix it? Actually, a fifth Brazilian, Roberto Moreno, a former driver in the series, is here this weekend. Roberto is somewhat tonsorially challenged, we should say. So he actually took some of the leftover hair from the other four guys and taped it to his forehead so he'd have one of those little caps too.
Tonsorially challenged?
It's the best I can do. Here's the look from overhead.
And he knows at this stage there's a bit of a wobble, and then, of course, off she goes. Now, here's the danger. The wheel is now on a live racetrack. Look at this. Hits the wall. So now cars that peel off down to turn 2 at more than 150 miles an hour better be real careful that they don't use that as a trampoline.
As I mentioned, this has happened before. We'll take you back to the Grand Prix of Monterey. This is Paul Tracy in Team Cool Green.
And look at it, look at it. See the guy there on the inside? He was not finished when Paul left. There's the result.
The car was dropped. That's the driver's signal to leave. The tire followed by the nut that holds it on. A very heavy impact with the tire wall for Tracy.
Followed by the nut that threw it away.
Did a little house cleaning. Then 2 weeks ago in Portland, this is Kenny Brack. Away he goes, but no sooner did he clear the pit exit than he could feel the shutter. Off came the wheel nut. Shortly after that, off came the wheel itself. And this was from the race lead. Cristiano Damata took over and took a very opportunistic victory, his second in a row from pole. And now here's a look at Fittipaldi's stop.
Now look, they're trying to say no, don't let him go. Look, watch this, now watch it, look at the boys here in disgust, because they know it's not on. And they know he's not going to make it around.
Now the driver is simply looking ahead at the one man who tells him it's time to leave. And he left.
And this race is so competitive today. We just said it earlier as Paul Newman watches in disgust, as does Carl Haas, very much his home track. They have brought more than 200 family members of this team are here today to enjoy the festivities. Look at Paul Newman. Look at the disgust. Ralph?
Well, Brian Lyles is the general manager of the Newman Haas team for Christian Fittipaldi. And Brian, have you had a chance to talk to your crew about what went wrong?
No, but it's one of those split-second things. Obviously, we got out of sequence there, and I know the guy on the inside rear tire was obviously having a little bit of trouble, and we didn't get the message up to the guy who lets him go properly, and it's our mistake. We feel real bad for Christian. We were on a somewhat different strategy than everybody else, and I think it was going to probably get us in the top 5, but you know, we screwed it up, and we're not very happy about that. We'll go back and look at it.
Brian, with everybody wearing the headsets and so forth, how does the communication work on the pit stop that if a man has a problem, how does he get that word up to the other men?
He has a radio, and also, you know, we rely on all the other crew members being vigilant and watching what's going on, but he does have a radio.
Thank you.
Well, Ralph, if you'd spun around, you'd have seen Scott Dixon sitting cattywampus in the middle of the pit lane because he lost the left rear the moment he left his pit. Crew pulls him back.
I would almost suggest there's going to be a redesign of how these wheel nuts, or how these wheels sit on the hubs, and how these wheel nuts tie on. When you lose this amount of time, as Scott Dixon, he's still back in the race. But let's go back a little bit to the time when everybody came in. Again, the gainers are the winners in the pit lane. Tagliani made up 3 positions, or Takagi. Junqueira made up 2. Tracy made up 2. Damata made up 1. But the losers again, believe it or not, Frank Kitty again lost 2 places. Tagliani lost 2. And Tony Kanaan lost 3. You won't win a race losing positions in the pits. Jan Beekes.
Well, you talk about gainers and losers, and I think that's what relates to these wheels coming off. Derek, it doesn't need a redesign. There's nothing wrong with the wheel nuts or the wheels now in kart, because you do not have to put a lot of fuel into the car. All the pressure is on the tire changers. If you can shave a fraction of a second off your tire change, then that's going to improve your position. So it's just a case of people taking chances, trying to go as fast as they possibly can and changing them. Now, they could redesign it so the wheel doesn't come off completely. That's something that they're looking at. But as far as getting it tight, nothing wrong mechanically, just they're trying to go too fast.
Well, here's my one opportunity to speak from racing experience. I've actually tried to change a rear tire under racing conditions, and it is a very, very difficult thing to do. Those tires have to be manhandled into place. You have to get them on the studs that Derek Daly was talking about earlier, and you have to work that air gun. It's a fairly clumsy device, I must say, and if you get anything wrong, something bad happens. Now you see the jet dryers on the track. These pictures brought to you live from the Honda Skycam, flying high above the Chicago Motor Speedway.
Kart has 2 jet dryers here this weekend. The one that's painted, the engine from that is actually, the engine in that is from a Learjet. Weighs about 300 pounds. They only run these jet dryers or jet blowers at about 50% capacity, and they still burn 150 gallons of kerosene an hour.
And this is unusual. Normally they will go around in the same direction as the race cars, counterclockwise, but here in Chicago they're going in a clockwise direction because they are trying to blow those marbles up the track rather than down, because the racing line is down low.
And the unpainted one that Kart doesn't want on television, the engine in that, because it's just newly built, came from a Sabreliner business jet that was active in the 1960s.
Might be owned by Mario. We'll be back in a moment to Chicago Motor Speedway. Stay with us.
Damata Junqueira.
Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, they're off and running as the NTRA Summer Racing Tour, presented by Long John Silver's, features the Suburban Handicap, the Stars and Stripes BC Handicap, and the UN Handicap, all at Monmouth Park. For more, go to cbs.sportsline.com. America Online keyword America Online keyword CBS Sportsline. See why CBS Monday is America's best night of comedy, starring with the King of Queens, followed by Yes Dear, and Monday's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond. Then don't miss Becker, starring Ted Danson, plus 48 Hours and The Late Show with David Letterman, Monday on CBS. Welcome back. There's Townsend Bell. Here's a look at our Bridgestone race summary. 5 different leaders in the event thus far: Dario Franchitti, Alex Tagliani, Michel Jourdain Jr., Christian Fittipaldi, and Cristiano D'Amata, the current leaders. 7 lead changes. Fastest lap of the race, Dario Franchitti. 2 cautions, the first for 14 laps. We're currently working on 12 laps in this current caution. You saw the cars out of the race. It began at the first turn, in which defending race champion Kenny Brack took himself and Jimmy Vasser out of the race. The field has been shown 1 lap to the green flag.
1 finger this time by. If you got anything on your tires, clean them up. Let's get ready to restart. 1 finger this time by.
Did you see him break the rear away there? As he cleaned up those rears?
Let's set the field. D'Amata leads, followed by Bruno Junqueira, Alex Tagliani, Dario Franchitti, Paul Tracy, Tora Takagi, Tony Kanaan, Shinji Nakano, Scott Dixon, and Mario Dominguez. Michel Jourdain, Townsend Bell, and Adrian Fernandez complete the field. Fernandez, as I mentioned, pitted a second time for brake problems. He is back out, but he is 8 laps down after repairs.
I wondered, did Tagliani drink all that nice cold water in that first 2 minutes?
Green.
Have you ever thought what it'd be like if you drank way too much before you ever got into the car, and then drank too much and needed to go to the bathroom? Happened to me one time. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, was the FBI's legendary J. Edgar Hoover part of a conspiracy to put an innocent man in prison and let a guilty man go free? Tonight on 60 Minutes.
Part of the reason these cars are so hot, they do not have vents into the car, because any vents that duct air in creates drag. Look at Tag.
Bruno Junqueira slowed Tagliani right on his gearbox.
Green flag.
A huge jump for Cristiano D'Amata. I wonder if Junqueira has a problem.
Terrible timing for Franchitti. Look at Paul Tracy.
Tagliani
Look
under
at
attack.
the bravery of Tracy, the 2 Canadians have.
Oh, keep it off the wall. He'll keep his foot in it. No, now he gets out of it, but he keeps the fire lit, spins it around. He has lost everything in terms of on-track position. There's Paul Tracy. He has stalled, asking for a push start.
Terrible timing on that restart. D'Amato was gone. Junqueira backed up. Tagliani got on the brakes. Tracy had a great run past Franchitti. And then they couldn't get round turn 1.
Oh, I know what Tracy's thinking. Just push start me. I can kick it around. Drop and send him on his way as the yellow comes out for the 3rd time.
Yeah, that accident started coming off turn 4. The end of it was in turn 1. But it began to unfold, Bob, coming out of turn 4.
Lap down goes Tracy. A very ragged restart. This man, Cristiano D'Amato, slowed things down in turn 3, then launched off turn 4. Got a great start. And then Junqueira and Tagliani both bogged down.
Okay, now Tracy gets the advantage inside Franchitti, but look what happens here. Look, the two boys touch each other. Oh, bang. Tag didn't realize Tracy was going to make a brave move around the outside. Both guys actually almost caught the oversteer. Here it is here. This is Tracy right here. Touches Tags right front. Right there. Touches it. Squeezes him down a bit too much. Should have given him more room.
That was a pretty stout shot. Both cars just went below our announced position, and both appear to be mechanically all right.
Yeah, but it was such a ragged start. Here's Paul Tracy again. Down left rear of Tracy's, right front of Tags. There's Dario. He misses it.
And almost runs into Tora Takagi to his outside.
But it was such a ragged start.
On board with Paul Tracy.
Yeah, he's
oops, actually pointed in the wrong direction. That was the aftermath from the view of Paul Tracy.
Waiting. Yeah, but Tracy got such a huge run because Junqueira backed up Tagliani, who backed up Dario Franchitti, and Paul Tracy almost pulled off a dynamite restart. And thankfully, he's still running.
Cristiano D'Amato did pull off
I want you to pitch this lap. Pitch this lap.
Tracy goes down to 12th place, and Tagliani.
Come on now, get your spirits back up, okay? It's not the end of the world by any means. We're still on the lead lap, and we're going to stay on the lead lap, okay? We just got to fight back. That's what happens when you're fighting for the lead, okay? So let's get your spirits back up. I want you in here, and I want you in as aggressively as you can be. Even if you miss the marks by a foot, it's okay. We're going to put on some fresh rubber, fill it up with fuel, we're going to give you a drink of water, and we're going to go out there. You're going to race these guys, and we're going to win the race. Copy?
Now there's a lesson in racing psychology.
And that is Neil Mickelwright
the pit here.
as the two Canadians come in together now to race each other in the pit lane. Ralph?
Well, Paul Tracy is in. You heard what they want to do to the car. They serviced the car, but the bigger question is servicing Paul. Trouble now with the right rear. These guys have stopped. Now they send him out.
And they come out together. Will they touch again? They both had trouble. For Tagliani, he had trouble with the left front, but they found no damage on the car. It's still a drag race.
And they go from 50 miles an hour to 85 miles an hour on the new two-stage pit lane speed limiters. Tagliani with the advantage. Now they'll go to full power.
And Tracy is known to be brave on cold tires.
Get these tires nice and warm, okay?
Don't be surprised to see Tracy try and pull something off here. No, not on the yellow. Mind you, can't pass on the yellow.
No.
Okay, no. Oh, he's livid. What's he doing here?
Now he's trying to find his place.
What is wrong with Fernandez?
Fernandez is telling you to go.
Well, Fernandez is 8 laps down, so he's going to let them go ahead of him.
Going to go green next time by.
Okay, now these boys need to catch up to the back of the field here. Paul Tracy trying to push Tagliani to catch up as they're about to go green, and these boys are a good 50 yards behind the rest of the field.
I'm watching the flag. You watch Paul Tracy. Flag green is in the air.
Green.